would be held in abeyance. Do other members have questions? Mr. McCaul?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And let me say first, I was at a tribute last night, Mr. Lewis, to you. And I want to commend both of you and echo the sentiments of Mr. Bonner, your courageous acts during the civil rights movement. Moving on to this matter, I think a lot has been made of the issue of self-interest and corruption, and the chief counsel, or prosecutor, if you will, has gotten widely publicized for his comments that there was no corruption in this case. And I guess I'm a little confused. I guess it depends how you define corruption. Mr. Rangel, in your letter to Speaker Pelosi, you stated, as chairman of Ways and Means, I am held to a higher standard of propriety. And I agree with that statement. Sitting on one of the most powerful committees as chairman to solicit corporations, foundations, lobbyists with business before the committee to raise money for what I call a monument to me, an institute to be named after yourself, I believe is of value and is a benefit and is self-interested. People donate millions of dollars to have institutions named after themselves. And in fact, Mr. Chisholm, in your motion, you say the donations and resulting benefits were accepted under circumstances which might be construed by reasonable persons as influencing the performance of respondents' governmental duties. Is that not corruption? I guess it is how you define corruption here. I think reasonable people may disagree on that interpretation. And with all due, I have great respect for you, sir. But the failure to pay taxes for 17 years, what is that? What does that tantamount to? When we're all expected to pay our taxes, and you, of all people, as chairman of the tax committee, writing laws for the country, what is the difference between that and Mr. Traficant, who didn't pay taxes for 2 years? Who was expelled from the Congress? And then censure. Charles Wilson, one of the more recent cases, received improper gifts and was censured. Mr. Chisholm, it's my understanding that your recommendation here today is for censure?
That is correct.
Yeah. I want to make one thing clear. There is a misunderstanding, I think, in the opinion of the American people that we have the authority somehow to put people in jail or so forth. That is within a court of law. That is not within the jurisdiction of this committee. But in fairness to you, Mr. Rangel, and the respondent, and Mr. Chisholm, I would like some clarification. And I think the American people would like some clarification as to how soliciting monies in an improper way from entities that have businesses before your committee, including lobbyists, to build a monument to me, how that's not self-interest, and how that is not in some way defined as corruption.
Is that a question to counsel?
That's a question to both Mr. Chisholm and to Mr. Rangel.
Yes, had the witnesses been called, Mr. Chisholm would have told you that the City College came to me. They were looking for the ability to use my name in raising funds for the school. Had the witnesses been here, it would have been made abundantly clear that that I was not trying to criminally hide anything from the IRS or from the Congress. If you looked at the records of disclosure, you would see sloppiness would have shown that I wasn't hiding anything. It just wasn't properly recorded. And if intent is involved with corruption, then I think he should. Listen, there is nothing that I can imagine that anyone can make a contribution to the City College that somehow or other that matter would not be one that could possibly come before the Congress. It's impossible. And so you and I discussing corruption, I'm satisfied with the record that the Investigatory Committee established. And that will lead you to believe, as a former prosecutor, that never but never was there an intent to hide anything from my constituents or from the IRS. And so, to me, if you got to kick this up from not properly abiding by the rules, which I admit are serious enough, that's serious enough. But I really think that it's a stretch to imply. Well, I don't want to get into a discussion if, like you said, it's subjective, and there are a lot of things that have happened in life that I would think that someone's conduct is corrupt, and that is something. But I'm just glad that you raised these issues to emphasize that I wanted the people to know before the election exactly what I've done, and to allow them the opportunity to make the decision whether their congressperson was corrupt or overzealous.
Mr. McCaul's time has expired.
I'd like Mr. Chisholm to respond, and to that point, Mr. Rangel, we did, on this side of the aisle, did try repeatedly to get this matter.
The gentleman's time has expired. I'd ask unanimous consent to give Mr. Chisholm an additional minute to respond to Mr. McCaul's question. That's so ordered.
Thank you. Congressman, the other day I answered a question. I answered it based on my reading of the record, the interviews that I've conducted, the people I've talked to. It was my opinion, mine. I do not presume to speak for anyone else, nor did I intend to. I do think it comes to the question of intent at the end of the day, and that's how I interpreted Mr. Butterfield's question.
Gentleman's time has again expired. Do other members have questions they would? Mr. Conaway.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just have two. Actually, I had one, but your comments, Mr.